Mapayapang hapon, Pilipinas! Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja Elizalde, na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH Radio at sa mga nanonood sa DZRH TV, lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. In every corner of the world, Filipinos carry with them more than just their luggage. Dala nila ang kwento, kulay at puso ng isang bayang mayaman sa sining at kultura. But living far from home also brings a quiet struggle kung paano mapapanatili ang koneksyon sa pinanggagalingan habang nakikibahagi din sa bagong mundong ginagalawan. For many in the diaspora, holding on to the Filipino heritage becomes an act of resilience expressed through art, food, language, fashion, and storytelling. These expressions become bridges, not just back to the Philippines, but toward deeper understanding in multicultural spaces. Creating spaces for cultural exchange is not just about celebration, it's about recognition. It's about showing that our narratives matter and that they can stand proudly side by side with others. In what ways can we weave Filipino identity into the global fabric? Yan ang pag-uusapan natin sa hapong ito sa kalahating oras ng masayang kwentuhan kasama ang mga kinatawan ng Philippine Art and Culture Exchange. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa.
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon.
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Nandito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama natin sa hapong ito ang founder at president ng Philippine Art and Culture Exchange na si Luis Berna. Magandang hapon, Luis. And
Magandang hapon, Lisa.
welcome to Art to Art.
Thank you for inviting me over. It's really an honor and a pleasure to be sitting beside you today.
Maraming salamat. So, Luis, we know that you started your career as a journalist in the Philippines. So, ikwento mo naman sa amin, how did you basically end up settling down in Brussels?
It's a very small story. It's a story about love. So I met a Belgian journalist during a conference in Indonesia. It was a tourism conference. And we were having this press conference from the DOT. And they were invited. And he was one of those journalists. And I started talking to him. And he thought that I was the press officer of the DOT. He was he was kind enough to taste ubi ice cream. And that started the whole thing. So it started as a long-distance relationship, and then it became a little bit difficult to be so far away from each other. And finally, the decision was to move to Belgium.
I see. Okay. So, naalala mo ba yung unang-una mong dating sa Belgium? Was it culture shock? What adjustments did you have to make para masabing, okay, I belong here now?
I have those blue years, and I think that lasted for about 2 to 5 years. And I think that's something that everybody who goes and live abroad encounters. Of course, it's a new, first of all, you are newly married, so you have to adjust to a married life. But also, you have to adjust to a different society. The culture, yung lengguwahe, tapos malayo ka sa pamilya mo, malayo ka sa mga kaibigan mo. You have to restart a career, and you don't actually know what career you will now be doing.
Yeah.
And so I had that blue period. But to be able to say that I really belong here, that took a lot of time. And I think it's an ongoing process because you're just finding your way, even if you know the codes of society, even if you have started to make friends, and even if you feel that you are really comfortable in this, strange country that you have somehow adopted. But it's an ongoing process of saying now, I belong here.
Yeah.
Because somehow your other leg has stayed where you came from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, but so you've lived abroad for how long now?
Oh, 33 years.
33 years, okay. So, ano yung mga challenges na talagang tumatak sa'yo? When did you start to feel like you had to do something in order to connect yourself to the Philippines?
I think the biggest challenges, I'm speaking for myself, of course, and as a Filipina, I think the biggest challenges were really fighting the stereotypes. So when I arrived in Belgium 33 years ago, there was no internet. People were only relying on the news that they were reading or watching. And most of the news are really speaking about bad news or referring to Filipinas as nothing more than just maids and prostitutes. So it was a challenge to break that stereotype and to let people know that there are other profiles of this country, that this country is actually a rich country of culture, of people, of history. There are so many things that represent us.
Yeah.
So I think that's the biggest challenge that I encountered. And slowly you feel the need to do something to change it. And so siguro, unti-unti, parang tinatago mo sa sarili mo na, I have to do something. Kailangan mabago to.
Yeah.
Although, of course, the onset of internet changed all that because people started to know more about us. People started going to the Philippines, and there is more knowledge that is shared. And I think that the way people look at us has changed definitely over the years in a positive way.
Okay, so let's talk about the Philippine Art and Culture Exchange. What inspired you to establish the Philippine Art and Culture Exchange, and what did you dream of accomplishing through it?
The Philippine Art and Culture Exchange started a year ago, and I was working as a chef for a NATO ambassador. And I started to be very unhappy. I think it was the stress of the work, and I think that I was very tired. And then I think the real reason was I was looking for something. Oh, I'm going to cry. I think it came to a point where I had to go full circle. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Take your time. Take your time. Yeah.
I felt that there was something missing with what I'm doing and being away. I thought that there was a role to play, and I also thought that it was payback time.
Okay.
Being abroad is not only living the years that you're abroad, you're carrying all those years that you've lived from your country. And living in my own country gave me so much that it was time for me to give back. Also, I thought that there was a gap.
Yeah.
People were looking at us, and I didn't see any strong initiative to tell the world who we are. So the Philippine Art and Culture aims to provide those voices a platform for Philippine art and culture, not only to show, but to be shared. Because at the end, it's a global community of creatives. And the Philippines has a special role.
Yeah.
You know, we are not only the Philippines, we are the Philippines. And I think that it's high time that Philippine art and culture should be shared abroad. Very few people know that we have this rich cultural heritage. And it's really about time now because people are talking about the Philippines. In Europe, talagang pinag-uusapan na tayo ngayon. Whether it's food, whether it's about our tourism destinations, but very little on culture. So, sabi ko, oras na siguro na kailangan nating ipagyabang yung ating mga kultura, and it could be fashion, it could be dance, it could be paintings. So nagkukulang ng exposure yon sa Europe.
Yeah.
So sa tingin ko, oras na at kailangan na nating ipakita yung mga ito.
Okay, so this year alone, I mean, you're only a year old, right? So this year alone, PACE has launched some amazing events. So can you walk us through the highlights so far and how these events have come together?
I'm really surprised at the way people welcome this event. So it's true, we are a very, very young nonprofit organization. But the last year, we've done so many things already. So we've done the food festival, the Philippine Food Festival, where we had like 5,000 people. And then we've invited a Filipino author to talk about her book on Philippine food. And she participated. We made sure that she participated in the Writers' Festival of Belgium. We hosted the art exhibit of 4 visiting Filipino painters. We've had some workshop with the Sanglahi dance troupe who came over to Belgium. And we recently concluded in January, it was a 6-week exhibit at the Brussels Museum of Migration, talking about Philippine diaspora. And it was a very welcome exhibit. They were so impressed by what they saw, what they heard, because also PACE really focused on the stories. We want to tell the stories of Filipinos, and whether they are nice or not so nice stories, this is who we are.
Yeah.
And then, again, we had the food festival in May, and now we have an ongoing exhibit. It's 1 month, just talking about Philippines for children. So we have storytelling, we
Nice,
have
yeah.
cooking demos, we have arts and crafts. And in September, we are the lead agency for the first Asian Literary Festival in Brussels. And of course, the Philippines will be like the guest country. This is really a nod to the Frankfurt Book Fair and focusing on Filipino writers in diaspora. So, but of course, now we are preparing for 2026.
Yeah.
And of course, 2026 will even be bigger because we are preparing for a big fashion show with a Belgian designer using our local fabrics.
And I see some local fabrics right here in the studio. But before that, marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan. Kasama si Luis Berna ng Philippine Art and Culture Exchange. Dito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art to Art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art to Art Calendar.
Narito ang ating arts calendar. Sa musika, inihahandog ng Manila Symphony Orchestra or MSO kasama ang Standard Insurance at Los Angeles Film Conducting Intensive o LAFCI ang concert na A Night in Hollywood sa June 28, 7:30 p.m. sa Aliw Theater, Pasay City. 10 composers at conductors mula sa LAFCI ang dadayo sa Manila para sa isang linggong collaboration kasama ang MSO sa direksyon ng American guest conductor na si Maestro Angel Velez. Tutugtog din ang Hungarian cellist na si Zoltán Ongzai. Tampok ang musika ng American film music composer na si John Williams. Maaring bumili ng ticket sa Ticket World. Sa sining biswal, nagbukas ang exhibit ng Ang Ilustrador ng Kabataan o INK na pinamagatang Work in Progress noong June 6 at patuloy itong makikita hanggang July 4 sa Gravity Art Space na matatagpuan sa Mother Ignacia Avenue, Quezon City. Ang mga tampok na obra ay tumatalakay sa proseso ng paglikha ng sining na hindi minamadali at galing sa pinagsama-samang paggamit ng kamay, puso at isipan. Binuksan ng National Commission for Culture and the Arts ang exhibit na Classics and Ivatan sa gallery nito sa Intramuros, Manila noong nakaraang June 9. Tampok ang mga obra ng Yaru New Artist Ivatan, isang artist collective mula sa Batanes na naglalarawan ng katutubong kulturang Ivatan. Kalahok sa exhibit sina Jerish Alcoy, Rodeline Come, Lloyd Mina, Marel Pahanil, Jai Portes, at Vors Portes. Makikita ang exhibit hanggang June 30. Para sa karagdagang detalye, bumisita sa website na www.ncca.gov.ph o mag-email sa pais@ncca.gov.ph.
Tinesting, sinuri, siniyasan. Ang resulta? Super effective ang Shield sa pagpatay ng bakterya at virus. Shield Antibacterial Soap. Believe ang mga eksperto sa Philippine Nurses Association. At si Mami.
Tiwala ako sa Shield.
Shield Antibacterial Soap. Napatunayang mabisa. Ang mga nurse, tiwala.
Hello, Washi! Laundry day na naman!
Yay! Anong meron?
Mancha ng chocolate, putik, may libag pa!
Kaya natin yan! With Pride Washing Machine Detergent, may triple stain-away formula. Tanggal ang makapit, madikit, at malupit na dumit-mancha. Kaya easy-easy ang labada.
Mula noon hanggang ngayon!
All you need is pride. All you need is pride. ACS.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Art to Art.
Andito pa rin tayo sa Art to Art at kasama pa rin natin ang founder ng Brussels-based organization na Philippine Art and Culture Exchange na si Luis Berna. At makakasama din natin sa bahaging ito ang Belgian-Filipino fashion designer na si Maxim Edward. Welcome to the show, Maxim.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate to be here. I'm very excited, and thank you for giving me the chance to explain and to talk a little bit about me. So thank you.
Yes,
So much.
we understand that this is your first homecoming to the Philippines since you left as a baby.
That's true.
So how has been your experience been so far in your country?
Wow.
In our country.
First, yes, it's my very first time coming back here. I was born in the Philippines, in Manila, San Juan, and I was adopted as a baby when I was like 10 months or something like that. And when I was raised in Belgium, I never had the opportunity, to connect with the community of the Philippines in Brussels or during my childhood, during my teenage time and as an adult. And I never really asked myself question about that. But the past months have been full of, meaningful encounters like Louise and or to say that the planets are aligned, and it's something that I have maybe to do to come back here. And my experience here was very amazing and credible because I met so much people in only 15 days. All the experience I had here, I'm also the connection. I didn't expect something because I thought myself just like a tourist, but it changed all my point of view of life.
I see.
Coming back here, and I feel very welcomed by everybody else. So that's very impressed to me.
Fantastic. You talked about crossing paths with Louis. How did your paths first cross, and can you tell us about your first collaborative project for PACE?
Your turn.
Yeah, so we were preparing for this big exhibit at the Museum of Migration, and we needed to talk to the members of the diaspora, and we wanted representations from every members of the community. So, we chose Maxim because he's adopted from the Philippines, and so we wanted to hear his voice, how it felt to be first of all, adopted, uprooted. Probably the word is uprooted. And for him to be reconnected, whether he still felt something Filipino or does he have any hunger to reach out and to reconnect with his roots. And I think the testimony that he gave was very touching and at the same time impressive, because we have a different perspective of someone who never grew up in the Philippines and yet feels that there is a link, you know, with his country of origin.
And what is that link, Maxim?
The link will be a fashion show. The goal is, of course, to promote all the art from the Philippines, like textile, fabric weavers. And the goal is to make, I want to build something like a bridge between the Philippines and Belgium. And maybe it's my way to reconnect to my roots, to my own art, because I'm a fashion designer. It's what I'm doing in Brussels. And yes, we choose a lot of fabrics, like very amazing, colorful, with so many possibilities. And in my mind, I already think about what I'm going to do with everything, to include all the fabric into my process for my next collection.
So in your visit to the Philippines, you've been looking for fabric.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Tell us about the show. I think it's called Roots and Weaves, the fashion show that you're planning for March 2026. And are these fabrics here in the studio right now a glimpse of what we're going to see in that fashion show?
Yeah, sure. We select many other fabrics, but there is some samples. And yes, it's so diverse. I'm still learning, you know, it's very new to me, so I get a lot of information about where they come from, the stories of the weavers.
Yeah.
Also, we had the chance to visit all the center from Kalinga. We went in Luguagan, Miagao, Antique, Aklan. So many exchange, you know, and I feel very concerned and very interested by all the art that Filipino weaver can show me.
Yeah.
And did I miss something? I talk a lot.
Well, could you tell us about the fabric that we have here? For example, this one, is it from Kalinga?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe I can take over. So
Yes,
this is a fabric which was woven by a 76-year-old weaver in Lubuagan. So her name is Maming. And I don't know, it took her, I think, 3 months to finish this. So
Wow.
there are about 6 yards of it. And the nice part about all these fabrics is that they are no longer just fabrics. So, and that's, I think, what was important for Maxim, that these fabrics carry the soul of the weavers. So this one is hablon. It comes from Miagao, from a very small cooperative.
It's beautiful red and gold weave. Yeah.
But Maxim just fell in love the moment he saw it.
Yeah.
And he said, that's mine. And then this is coming from Zamboanga. So from the weavers of Zamboanga. And
Okay.
the last piece is pineapple.
This one is
So it's
is piña.
hand-painted pineapple.
Oh,
So,
wow. Wow. Hand-painted. That's beautiful.
Also, the goal is not making, you know, traditional outfit from Philippines. I'm a Belgian designer with an identity from Belgium, and I really want to find, you know, a balance between my own design and the best way to put some soul from the Philippines to each piece of garment that I will create for the
Are you
show.
wearing your design right now?
No, it's a gift from a local famous fashion designer, René Salut.
Oh,
Mama
okay.
René.
It's a René Salud.
So it's a gift, and we met him just
Is that
Rene-
also a Rene
Yes,
salute?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I
Okay.
made sure that Maxim meets one of our legends, so Mama Rene.
Yeah.
And he was so generous to meet Maxim and tell his own story and to encourage him and to tell him where he was getting his fabrics and his dedication to Philippine fashion. And I think that that meeting was really inspiring. And we were lucky to be dressed today by Rene Salud.
Fantastic. It's beautiful what you're wearing right now.
Thank you.
It's
Thanks to him.
Okay. Well, from your experience traveling to all these places, gathering all of these different Philippine textiles, fabric, what makes these Philippine textiles unique, and also what makes them challenging to use or work with as well, whether it's for a fashion show or for everyday wear?
Okay. First, why those fabrics are unique is definitely the story, the soul that they go outside of everything. The color, you cannot find other color in other place. In Brussels, of course not. It's more, darker, more. I don't know how to explain, but the way I'm going to show the textile, it's through both. Like, I will have a part like ready to wear for daily day, and also more fashion, extravagant part, like the evolution of the show will be like that, from the north to the south.
South, yeah.
Okay.
I
With,
think,
sorry,
yeah.
Luis. with some small parts with different stories, with different inspiration, like the architecture, because I also pay a lot of attention about people here, like how they act, how they are, how they speak to me, and I really want to brainstorm everything and try to inject stuff into my designs.
Yes.
I talk too much. Sorry.
No, it's amazing the stories that these fabrics tell, and of course the way you're going to incorporate them now into this expression in the fashion show for March. What about PACE bringing together the creative voices from different to tell the story of the Filipino diaspora? So in your perspective, why is it important to preserve and promote Filipino culture abroad? I mean, particularly in Europe.
First of all, Brussels is a very ideal place to be because it's very central. It is where the European community is, where you have large institutions, etc. And we are just 1 hour away from many, many countries. And I think it's very important that we are showing what we have. First of all, for the Filipinos abroad. Many of the second generation don't really know where their parents come from or where
That's
their
true.
grandparents come from. And there is definitely a need to, tell them that these are your roots and that you can be proud of them. And after, it's very important also to show to non-Filipinos, because, wow, can you imagine this richness? We have something old, which is new to you. And so for Maxim, for example, the goal is we are presenting Belgian or European aesthetics using local fabrics. And so this is something which is going to be an exciting, endeavor, not only for PACE, but PACE is always in the forefront of putting not only Filipino artists based in the Philippines, but also Filipino artists who are living abroad.
Fantastic. Maxime, you're going home to Belgium soon. I guess, once you go back to Belgium and people ask you, what's your most memorable experience from your first visit to the Philippines? What would you say?
Wow, the first experience is just the way of people accept me, were accepting me. I feel directly home. I cannot, if I can say that, because it's according to me, it's a feeling. And the first thing I saw, it's Manila, was a very big city. But I think when we went to Kalinga, we had a very beautiful landscape, very impressive that we don't really
Yes,
have
yes, that's true.
in Brussels. So I will remember, of course. And yes,
The
Yeah.
people.
So it's also it's the people and the place.
people and place.
Luis,
Sorry.
yes.
Also the food, of course.
the food.
The food.
Don't forget the
Don't forget
food.
the food.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, Luis, we believe you have an ongoing event. Please invite our viewers who are in Belgium, since we stream online as well.
Okay, so we have an ongoing exhibit at the Artistes du Monde for Kids in celebration of the Philippine Independence Day. We thought that this time we are going to take care of the children and we're going to introduce Philippine art and culture at an early age. So this is a month-long event. First of all, we have two very young Filipino artists exhibiting. We have Jonabel Wabas and Brendan Tabangay, who's going to be on visual exhibits. And then we have some workshops with storytelling of Philippine history. And we have Cora Makes Pancit. And we have also featuring an artist coming from the Philippines. So that's today.
All
And
right.
yeah, with Buzz Magsumbol. He's a paper cut master artist. So I wish him good luck today. And then we also have ukulele classes. So this is going to be until July 12th. So I hope that our friends in Brussels, in Belgium, and from the nearby countries could join us in this very exciting Philippine celebration.
Alright. Maraming salamat sa pagdalaw niyo sa aming programa.
Maraming salamat.
Luis, Maxim, thank you so much for being our featured guest here in Art to Art. And of course, we wish you all the best. And thank you for promoting Philippine culture and cultural exchange through PACE.
Thank
More
you so
power to
much.
PACE.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hanggang sa susunod na linggo, samahan ninyo kami ulit dito sa Art to Art, kung saan ang usapang sining at kultura ay para sa lahat. Ito po ang inyong balerina ng bayan, Lisa Macuja Elizalde, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino.